Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Hard Way. I'm Brett Michelle. With me, as always, is my little buddy Blade. Hello, Blade.
You know, why do you call me your little buddy? Like,
because you're my little buddy.
We haven't ever met each other in real life. You don't know how little I am.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it.
You appear dainty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Would you prefer dainty Blade, petite Blade?
Diminutive?
Have you guys watched Game of Thrones? What was the name of Arya's sword? Needle? Would you like me to call you Needle?
Oh.
No, I would not like you to call me fucking Needle.
Was that the
or
name
Jonathan
of it? Was it
Davis
Needle?
or any of the other
What was
shitty
Frodo's?
names.
Was it Stinger? Is that it?
Stinger.
Oh,
Stinger Blade. That's a
like
good
a little
wrestler.
Stinger.
I'm already mad.
From Bumfuck, Washington, Stinger Blade. Jonathan Blade Davis.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Good show, everybody.
Anyway, hello, everybody. Like I said, this is The Hard Way. I'm Brett Michelle, as always, with Blade Daily. And today, we have a very special guest. We have Sickos Club alum, Professor Degree. Hello, Professor.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be here.
We thank you for being here. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Oh, I'm Professor Degree on Blue Sky.
We already told them that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the extent of my life.
Perfect.
I just sit around waiting for the call. When am I going to get to be on the show?
Hey, you know what? You're one of our favorite people to have on because
Thanks.
you are lively and full of gumption.
I try to be full of moxie, even.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah.
like put those electrodes on your nuts like Kane did to Shane McMahon.
But you
like
do
back
it.
in the day.
But you still do, and I appreciate
No,
it.
we still do it.
what
We
about-
still do
like
it.
that. Yeah.
What about Kyle Fletcher taking some thumbtacks to?
I didn't watch that match yet,
Oh, okay.
but I believe you. You can spoil it. It's okay.
We won't
The
say
last episode of Sit Down, Shut Up is called The Curious Case of Kyle Fletcher's Ball Stabbing.
I haven't made it to that because
Oh, fantastic!
I made it into about 3 tangents, and I haven't gotten all the way into that conversation yet.
Yeah, no,
It's a
that's
good
at the
episode.
it's at the very end. We totally did a major announcement grift, basically, where it's like you have to listen to the end for us to talk about Kyle Fletcher's balls.
Like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Well, we won't ruin that for you or anyone else who hasn't watched Collision from last week. Which, if you haven't, why? But we're going to start this week with I raised a question to the IWC, and I said, well, I asked, who is your favorite celebrity guest wrestler, any era, any promotion? And we have got some good ones here. We have Nerd Dad David simply put a gif of David Arquette, who is the greatest WCW champion of all time, in my opinion.
All right. I'm leaving again.
Trina.c says Bad Bunny forever. We've got a lot of Bad Bunny on here. A lot of Bad Bunny, which, you know what, I'll give it to. I'll give it, he's like, he's come in and he's performed fucking great. Have you seen any of his matches played? I know you haven't really.
No, but he did just call himself the best celebrity wrestler of all time.
Oh, there you go.
Well, that's true. That's true. Here's an underrated one. Devin Con 50 says Jon Stewart, because after taking the AA, he pulled his shirt down to hide his tummy, and he's real.
Yes. Well, he literally cost John Cena the world title at SummerSlam in 2015, maybe.
He did
Against Seth Rollins. Yeah.
He did. Killam Faulkner says Stephen Amell, though the absolute best celebrity guest on a wrestling show, was 100% Bob Barker.
Him getting into it with Jericho.
I'm JoJo Still says tempted to say Mr. T just so someone has to watch his Hall of Fame speech entirely for research. I'm a dickhead. But real answer is probably Bad Bunny or Stephen Amell. So we got some more. Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell.
My buddy Cavity Rock is in there for David Arquette as well. Hexmaniac. We got another Bad Bunny. We have a whole bunch here with I'm not going to read yours, Blade.
What?
Mark Metal 2013, Andy Kaufman, because he was very into the gimmick. And I got to say, other than David Arquette and the one for today is Andy Kaufman. He's number one. Like he is, I think even in comedy and in life, he is one of my like idols and heroes.
Did you read the book that Bob Smuda wrote? I mean, I felt like that book made me a better, like I understood wrestling better. I was like, I'm a better fan. I'm a stronger fan because Andy Kaufman taught me what wrestling really is, you know? And then for Bob Smuda. Anyway,
he lived his life in kayfabe. Like his life was kayfabe. Like he is. There was no other. But Blondie the Pom Pom says Paul Walter Hauser. He just loves his wife. Which at this point, I'm just gonna call PWH a wrestler, man. Like he's had a few matches, and he seems to be doing a lot more of that than acting lately.
Several promotions, even, right?
Yeah, he works with AEW sometimes. I don't know if he's had a match in AEW or anything, but he's had a bunch of matches at this point. I haven't seen any, unfortunately. I should probably check those out.
Has AEW, other than Shaq, have they had any celebrity matches?
Big Boom AJ. Yeah.
Who books and body slams? Shout it out.
I guess he is a celebrity, but feels like he's more of a wrestler.
This is a good one from, I don't know how to pronounce this. AFEIL 117 says, nothing has ever made me laugh harder in wrestling than Drew Carey in the Royal Rumble. He understood the assignment. That was a good one.
He got it. He was good.
Mondo Grebazine says, Cyndi Lauper, my girl, Cindy, the original rock and wrestler.
Yeah. We
have a couple more here. We got another Drew Carey. We got some more Andy Kaufman. My Life Destiny Narrative says, I always liked when athletes from other sports get in the ring, like Karl Malone in WCW, same with Kevin Green. Non-athletes, Andy Kaufman was a genius. Rabbit Turd says Snooki.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which I'm not going to lie, I like Jersey Shores, though.
I've never seen an episode of Jersey
no
Shore.
comment. Sorry, I got nothing.
But I've saved this one for last. We have, let me get a little drum roll here.
I can add it in post.
Super Life says Rodman equals ratings. And the reason I saved that one for last, thank you everyone who chimed in, is because today, boys, we are covering Bash at the Beach 1997, featuring the Worm, the Bad Boy, Dennis motherfucking Rodman.
That's
Hell
right.
yeah.
That's right.
How excited are y'all? Did you enjoy watching this?
I enjoyed watching it. Are you talking about the main event, or did I enjoy watching the entire
Just the whole show.
I did, yes. I did not enjoy the main event that much.
No.
But we'll get to that. But I didn't hate it either. I mean, you know.
Did either of you watch this live back in the day?
Yes, I saw it live. So I enjoyed it more than I really thought I would. This is WCW's best year, really, is 97, in my opinion, until Starrcade.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, this is the status quo WCW pay-per-view at that time. They've aged so much better than the Attitude Era shit.
Yes, they have.
Because the undercards are so stacked and so good. Yeah. We have a Killer Trios match. Jericho and Ultimo Dragon fucking beat. That was a really good match. There was some really great stuff on this show. And it was interesting because I kind of was like, okay, I got to put my 90s glasses on here and watch this. Wasn't hard at all. And I just got more and more into it until you got to the main event. And then it's just kind of a spectacle, you know?
And, you know, for the time period, it surprisingly, like, aged pretty well. Like, there wasn't too much where it was like, ooh, that's cringe, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, they weren't doing the WWF, you know, bra and panty matches and all that kind of bullshit. Even though we did last week when we covered Great American Bash, we got Paul Heyman in his undies. And What did you call them? Turquoise?
Yeah, they were like turquoise
Sundays.
turquoise BVDs or something. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this. Let's
do
right.
it.
We're talking about Bash at the Beach, 1997, and this was WCW's fourth Bash at the Beach event. They held it on July 13th, 1997, live from the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach. There was only 7,851 fans in attendance. Kind of a small crowd by pro wrestling standards at the time, I think. Right?
That's surprising. Wow.
Yeah, kind of a small one.
It's the same arena where Hogan turned as well.
It was 1 year to the day.
Yep, this was 1 year from the famous NWO Third Man. You know, not to be confused with the unicorn that you find on Tinder. Hi, everyone.
Oh, hello.
Anyway, your ring announcers for the evening were Michael Buffer and David Penzer. Your interviewer for the evening was Mean Gene Okerlund.
Mm-hmm.
Referees for the night were Randy Anderson, Mark Curtis, Scott Dickinson, Mickey J, Jimmy Jett, and Nick Patrick. And we start off the night with your commentators for the evening, Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan, who are in their finest Aloha shirts. And they are joined by Dusty Rhodes, who is in a long-sleeve black shirt, looking much like an ex of mine who very much detested the beach.
Dusty Rhodes.
In the American Dream, there's several moments throughout that pay-per-view where you don't even know anything about what he's saying, Daddy, because you can't understand him because they're just talking like this. Sorry.
I honestly felt like he just winged that whole thing.
There was a point where he was just like, he'd be like, blah, 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 and people would start answering. I'm like, that wasn't a word. Like, nothing about that was a
classic Tony Schiavone calling things the wrong thing. Like,
lots of that.
I forget what spot it was, but someone does a back body drop and he calls it a belly to back. And you're like, there was no bellies. Like, there's no bellies.
So
he does thankfully sound sober during this one.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Because he did, as WCW got worse, he got progressively more intoxicated during the broadcast.
He did, which, bless his heart. First match of the night, we've got the team of Wrath and Mortis with Paul Vandenberg. And Mortis, perhaps better known to wrestling fans as the late Chris Kanyon. And Wrath, of course, better known to most, I would think, as Atom Bomb. And they look spooky as hell. I thought they looked cool as shit.
They look badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought they were cool.
Also, just real quick, that's James Vandenberg, not Paul.
They called him Paul.
Did they? Well, it's James.
Yep.
James Vandenberg.
Well, they called him Paul.
Okay, they were wrong, Brett, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, they also call Ultimo Dragon Ultimate Dragon. So
what are you thinking, you bitch?
That was actually a concerted effort to get away from Ultimo. They decided to change his name to Ultimate, and then they changed it back to Ultimo. Yeah, I didn't remember that. I always called him Ultimo Dragon. But
yeah, I just thought like they fucked it up or something, and that was it.
Yeah.
I think they were fucking it up. Then they're like, let's just change it to Ultimate. And then they did. And then people got it right. I don't know.
One of the things I noticed that I wanted to mention about the pre-show is like you can tell exactly what time period it is because as soon as that little shark graphic comes on, it goes and it goes into, I don't know if it's actually Dick Dale or if it's the faux Dick Dale, but it's like
faux Dick Dale. Yeah.
Everything was either that fucking song from Pulp Fiction or from fucking Seinfeld. Yeah. Like you get two choices in your commercial.
It's the fucking Seinfeld
surf rock or anyway. Okay, so Mortis, and I thought those dudes were sweet, and I don't know if I thought they were that cool at the time. This is what I liked about why I'm glad you guys suggested this is because I got to revisit stuff with my adult eyes and see things in a very different way than I would have back at that time. So 1997, I turned 20 in 1996. So I was still 20. And I probably thought that Mortis and Wrath were not cool. You know what I mean? Like I thought I thought Glacier was fucking stupid.
I thought Glacier sucked, but I actually really liked Mortis, and I really liked Wrath.
I liked watching Mortis wrestle. I associated him with Glacier, so it kind of didn't. Anyway, I love him now.
No, he looked cool as shit. Like he had the skull mask. He had like that stringy wet look hair. He had the fucking skull shoulder pads. The fucking other one guy had like the Viking helmet with the horns sticking out all over and the big ass like Spirit Halloween battle axe. Like
Wrath kind of looks like a samurai Viking. It's weird.
Totally.
Yeah, kinda.
Like
kinda.
a space age Viking samurai.
Yeah. Anyway, they are taking on, speaking of Glacier, a weird team in my mind. Glacier and Ernest the Cat Miller. And Glacier, if you haven't seen, is basically if Dolph Lundgren played Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Is essentially.
But if he was more diminutive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what?
And the cat, he's just rocking like a karate gi robe.
So hold on. So this is what I thought the booking meeting sounded like. They're like, listen, baby, we gotta get Glacier out there, and he fights Mortis, and we got Wrath, but we need somebody else. And they're like, well, Wrath is like a space ninja Viking, and Mortis is like a He-Man villain, and Glacier's like Sub-Zero. And somebody's like, I got it. What about the cat? And they're like, does he do martial arts, baby? And they're like, he does.
Close enough.
I got a gentleman over here who's been teaching my children kung fu down at the local YMCA. How about if I just bring him in here and just let him kick around a little bit?
I believe Ernest the Cat Miller was the karate instructor for Eric Bischoff's kids.
Seriously?
I think he was. Yeah, I think that's...
Do you want to hear something that probably explains so much about me? Is I did karate when I was a kid, like third grade. And before karate class, I had 2 cassette tapes that I would listen to get, like in the zone. One of them was Twisted by Keith Sweat, and the other was Doing It by LL Cool J.
Nice. Doing it well.
Those don't seem like karate songs.
Those are not karate. Brad's listening to porno music before he goes to karate. What the fuck?
Nor were they songs that I should have been listening to in third grade.
No. Who was letting you listen to this shit?
My parents.
Like MTV Jams is right? That's MTV Jams shit right there.
Yeah.
Keith Sweat had 2 songs that did anything?
Yeah, dude, you got me twisted. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't the song. Yeah. It was a different one. It was Nobody. Nobody who can love you like me. Nobody.
And then Doing It is like, that is a nasty song. Like,
yeah.
Doing it well.
Yeah, like moans and groans and shit.
Yeah, there's like a girl just moaning throughout that entire song.
It's getting you pumped for karate, baby.
Yeah, you're like, let's do some karate.
Well, speaking of karate, so we get into this match right away. Glacier taking it to Mortis. Quick tag. We get the cat into the match, who hits a pretty nice spin kick on Mortis, gets him sent to the corner for a tag to Wrath, who gets the advantage on the cat. Cat starts to mount a comeback, however. Wrath hits him with a big old backbreaker for his trouble, tries to hit an elbow drop after a little tight rope walk of the middle rope, which was pretty cool.
Walking that tightrope, baby.
But the cat moves out of the way, allows him to get back some offense, tags in Glacier for a double team drop kick until Wrath finds a way to take both men out. They get a chair into the mix. Glacier gets hit with a standing sidekick that sends the chair into his skull.
That was cool as fuck, by the way.
Yeah, that
was really, really cool.
That was pretty rad. So back in the ring, Mortis takes it to Glacier before a pin attempt. Glacier kicks, gets a tag to, Mortis gets a tag to Wrath. They hit a pretty rad double team move there. It was like a power bomb neck breaker.
Mm-hmm.
because they're such a great tag team, storied history. But the cat breaks up the pin attempt. Mortis hits a leg drop in the middle rope while Wrath holds him in a modified crab, which was pretty cool.
That was dope. The reverse crab that he did, that was cool as fuck. I've never seen that.
I hadn't either. And then
somebody should do that again. Like
the
now.
leg drop off the rope was right. It made just the whole thing really tied the room together.
It really did.
Sure.
It really did. The head trauma really went with the back pain.
It does. It does. It really, brings it all together. You don't need to tell us what Ernest the Cat Miller did at any point during this match because it's just kicks. It's pretty much all kicks.
Pretty much.
If he's in the ring, he's kicking. He's probably not doing a lot of other things but kicking. His kicks.
He's also trying to make a serious, like, tough guy face the whole match, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So after some scuffling, all four men are in the ring before the cat cleans house, and then him and Glacier back on offense. Glacier gets Mortis in a pin attempt, but the ref is distracted, allowing Vandenberg time to wrap a chain around Mortis's foot, who then hits Glacier with a boot. 1, 2, 3. Your winners, Wrath and Mortis.
I thought that was Glacier's first loss.
Yeah.
Was it?
It was. Yep. He was undefeated to that point. Degree, you want to jump in on this one first?
I thought that finish was fucking awesome. Should I not swear so much? Oh yeah, you guys swear all the time. It's fine.
Oh yeah, we don't give a shit.
I have not seen that. And it just the visual of him wrapping, because he pulls the chain out and you're like, oh, he's gonna just hit him with the chain, whatever. Mm-hmm. And like first he does the thing where who's trying to pin Mortis at that point. He wraps it around and then he puts his leg on the rope and it's just like this like 1-2 little like sweet manager combo. I thought that was cool. Like that was my favorite part of the whole match.
I like this match so much better than I expected to.
I thought a fun one.
Wrath and Mortis were super good together. So my thing is, I've always thought Canyon was better than people.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved Chris Canyon. He's a great wrestler. He was so innovative. He would fit right in a like AEW right now.
Unfortunately, his being gay was not really cool to a lot of people back then. He very famously got a lot of shit from a lot of people, which really sucked. And I think he's someone who could have been really good.
The other thing is, I've always tried to figure out why Brian Clark, who is Wrath, didn't go further. And I had attributed it to maybe as an adult seeing him now, like I'll see that he wasn't very good. He was very solid. Like all of his stuff looked great.
Well, he couldn't land on a gimmick, man. He had so many fucking gimmicks. Like
I remember as a younger kid watching WWE or WWF when he was Adam Bomb and thinking this guy's like the next monster of the week for whoever the champion is, for Brett or whoever. Like, but he looks like, he had the same kind of aura as like a Sid or somebody like that. He was big. It was a cool gimmick. He was from 3 Mile Island, It was cool.
Adam Bomb was cooler than it should have been. It could have been really easily been corny. And I felt the same way. I thought that dude was sweet.
Yeah. And then Wrath was a great gimmick. And then, I guess Chronic kind of phoned it in, but like, I wasn't really watching WCW as much during that time.
No, me neither. I was just about to become a huge wrestling fan. Like I had started kind of like dabbling in 97 because I was 9. And so, but it was like, I got into it because, Blade, like The Rock, Stone Cold, like that was the shit I was seeing on TV. And then 99 was when I like really became like a hardcore, like obsessed wrestling t-shirts to school every day. All I fucking talked about was wrestling. Like,
going to karate, listening to Keith Sweat and LL Cool J.
Yeah. No, that was before that.
It really does explain a lot.
I never got more than my white belt because it did 2 years. I am a lover, not a fighter.
One of my favorite lines from it, though, I actually wrote this down in my notes, was Mike Tenay at one point says, Mortis is a skeleton in Glacier's closet. And I thought that was the highlight of the commentary. That was great.
Tanate trying to prove he's more than just a wrestling nerd. And so he's like trying to do something semi-poetic.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Next, go ahead.
No, just at the end of the match, and Glacier's like dead, and Ernest the Cat Miller like is down on his knees, like, no. You don't even know that you just
oversell.
Well, and the thing is, like, Ernest Miller's green as fuck. Like, he's so green, and like he just started. You can tell he's probably done a few weeks at the power plant. And when they first come out, and he's like wearing leopard print, like a leopard print gi and stuff. Yeah. And then he like does the face like on top of the ramp. He looks like he's about to start laughing. Like he just looks like he's having a hard time keeping it together. Like
that's why I think I mean, for as much as I think, like, because I was really athletic, surprisingly, as a kid, you know, and I did backyard wrestling and stuff, but like I don't think I ever could have like gone anywhere with it, because I'm the type of person who, if you ask me to act, I'm like, the minute they say action, I'm just smiling like ear to ear. It's just all dimples the whole time. I can't keep a straight
like
face.
every Billy Starks promo. She's just She's endearing, though. I think she's great.
She's getting better. She's getting better at it. But I know what you mean.
Just be safe with the ladies, Billy.
Please, Billy.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up, we get into a backstage segment with DDP and what I would venture to call the first social media manager in pro wrestling. We've just got some young dork reading off fan emails. The first one being from someone named I Love Cows.
I Love Cows, yes.
Asking who DDP's team member is going to be in the tag match he's set to have later against Macho Man and Scott Hall. But DDP kind of blows it off. They ask a couple more questions, nothing like that needs to be talked about. But yeah, that was a nice little
interest.
Yeah, nice little modern touch in 1997 with the fan emails.
Well, DDP, being a great babyface, spends a lot of time mocking this person for having the username I Love Cows. Yeah, he's like, what, you think I'm going to tell you? Like, you know, like what? Especially somebody named I Love Cows. Like, I'm not going to tell you.
I like how most of the answers to pretty much every question were, and then he just shrugged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real baby face, Dallas.
Real baby face, Dallas, yeah. Hey, he was just a young pup. He was only like 44 here.
How far into his face turn is this?
This, it's pretty deep, like, because he probably
face the previous year.
Yes. So he turned face at Starrcade when he was the first person to get one over on Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. So, remember they gave him the shirt and he put it on, and then he cuttered both of them.
Turn. Okay. I just didn't know where it fell on the timeline.
Which you gotta give the dude credit, you know, for starting at 36. Like, I knew he had been like friends with people in the business and had done little, like, you know, he's like a security guard in the event or whatever. But for a dude who didn't start training until he was 36 years old, man, like, that dude had a hell of a career. Like,
I was a big fan.
Yeah,
I was
and
a huge
I think
DDP
one
fan.
of the biggest travesties of his career is what they did with him in WWE.
Yes,
like,
big time.
Because, dude, Paige, even at that age, could have been a star. Like, even doing that, like, kind of stalkerish angle could have been great, you know, but then they just made him into some weird, like, self-help guru, which I guess he is in real life now.
Well,
but
I think the problem was the stalker thing really cut his nuts off, in my opinion, because it's like, it's such a divergence from what made him so appealing, was that he was a man of the people, you know, and he had turned heel towards the end of WCW. He turned heel with the Jersey Triad and stuff, but he really was like a guy who looked like your fucking drunk ass uncle at Thanksgiving. Yeah. And, you know,
DDP looks so much like an ex brother-in-law of mine, who is that like I couldn't watch his matches for a long time because I was like so pissed at my ex-brother-in-law because he fucked over my sister. Yeah, and the dude was a truck driver. Like he was just a guy, just like a dude with a shitty kind of mullet. Well, DDP didn't have a mullet, but anyway, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I guess that was like the story of most people when they went to WWE, though, from WCW. Like, Vince had a real hard time letting anyone from WCW not just be a sacrifice to one of his guys.
Well, and the other thing is he was so hell-bent on changing who they were. Like, they could not be who they were in WCW. I mean, you know, like, it's only a couple years later you have Goldberg with the gold dust wig on. I mean, it's just
God forbid you get over somewhere else.
Well, right. And I mean, like, what's the point of even buying WCW? I mean, this is like where you see like what inspires Donald Trump, you know, is like he becomes president and he has to eliminate everything Joe Biden passed. Like, everything, like, fuck it. Like, no.
No, it's exactly right. Like, I mean, there's so many things you could compare Vince and Trump with, but like they both did have that mentality that I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense.
Business.
No, because he was built in. You think of the money he could have made, and he's a greedy motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's just that mindset of, well, you were the competition, so I have to destroy you. Right. Like, I don't understand that. And like I understand. I mean, I guess if your like only goal is to just make the most money you can at the risk of screwing everyone you've ever known over, like but
it's like you're not even making money because you're willing to lose money just to fuck over the guy that you already defeated.
Well, and to fuck over the memory of that company too, because he's like, the thing is, like, he spent the next 15 years just pissing on the grave of WCW. I mean, fucking Sting jobbed to fucking Levesque at WrestleMania. The most like, aside from Booker T, which is the most egregious thing, also with Triple H, that's the worst thing that's ever happened in WrestleMania. Okay, and I just happened to be there. But Sting losing to Triple H is like next. It's like, what the fuck? Like. And the NWO was like on Sting's side, and then they all shook hands at the end. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I think it was him trying to he needed a way to show that DX was the cooler group. You know,
it was a way to just say our stuff was superior.
Yeah, and it's all just IP. I mean, even like WWE in general, not to get off on this tangent, but it's not about wrestlers. It's just IP. It's just it's Disney buying Marvel. It's Disney buying Star Wars.
It's like Disney buying Star Wars and then making them do the job to Marvel. Like,
oh, by the way, like, you know, Luke Skywalker was also a, you know, stalker.
Great shit. Let's have him in a limited series with Wolverine.
Oh God!
They make a movie that's just Thanos clapping all of the fucking Disney princesses to death.
Oh shit!
No, they job that because he's not an original. Like, Thanos does the job to Sleeping Beauty. You see how it all works.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
The end of
you know what? I kind of want that now.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool, honestly. Cool.
We're only 2 matches deep.
Tony Khan, book it.
Thanos versus Sleeping Beauty. Make it happen.
All right,
we're actually 1 match deep, so let's. Just talk about the entrance.
Listen, we're just really detailed here.
So next up, we've got our first title match of the night. We have the Cruiserweight Champion, Chris Jericho, taking on Ultimo Dragon. And I got to ask, who in pro wrestling has had a longer consecutive streak of cool-ass tights than Chris Jericho? I venture to say no one, because Jericho consistently had the coolest fucking tights in wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like, he had the yellow ones. He had the fucking cool red ones when he went to WWE. These were rad. These were like baby blue with like what would you call that pattern? 90s.
These ones almost look like iodine. Did you say?
Yeah.
They almost look like you could buy them like at a like a yoga place or like a workout type place, like they wear like track pants or something.
Yeah,
and they were still, like, these were the worst of his tights, and they were still pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean?
Actually, these were like lower on the list for me as well. But I think like you're right. In general, Jericho is great tights, but like these, I can see why they didn't last this long. But guys, his music that he came out to as a babyface.
Oh yeah.
And all he does is go, "Let's go, baby!" And then he backs into the crowd, and they all touch him, and then he just does it again, like 10 feet up again. Let's go, baby!
There's not much
young Jericho.
This is hard to watch. His character work is hard to watch. His matches are great. But
which is crazy to think about, because once he figured out like who he was as a performer, like character wise, to Jericho, whatever you say about him now and what he's kind of become, like I think Jericho is one of the best. Like
he was my favorite wrestler for years.
Yeah,
for years and years. Like,
I mean, you and I have talked about it so much, like a travesty, like not having him as one of the top guys and not being in that WrestleMania 2000 main event. And then them giving the top heel role to Triple H as opposed to Jericho. Cause Jesus Christ, could you imagine?
It's you brought that up, right, Blade? The whole idea of that. And I remember hearing you guys talk about it, and it's like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have quit watching because I couldn't fucking stand Triple H. 45-minute fucking promos at the beginning of every episode. He drove me away from, and then of course the Booker T thing was like a big nail in the coffin. But yeah, if Jericho had been the guy on top, if you would have had that dude in his, I don't know if that was his peak, but you know, like his prime or whatever you call it. Yeah, it would have been a different world. I mean, I was a fan back then too.
I think that Jericho, even if you're insisting on Levesque being on top, like you could have two top heels. It didn't need to just be one. You know what I mean? Like the entire company revolves around Levesque for years. Yeah. And he's just not worthy of that kind of television time.
Well, it's still kind of what they do, you know. Like, it was a great story, but look at WWE, you know. Like for so long, like nobody else could move up the card because Roman had to be at the top, you know. And that was it.
But then take it a step further back, and you got Cena. Then take it a step further back, and it's The Rock. Then take it a step. I mean,
I will say they did do a great job of letting The Rock and Stone Cold kind of share that 1A, 1B. But it also worked out that Stone Cold had left a couple times, you know, and gave The Rock that room.
Well, and I think that was the most unique time in WWE history, where it's like
something different.
You have two top baby faces. I mean, you probably could make the case for Macho Man and Hogan, but like it's similar to that, where these two guys are like nuclear over, and they, I started watching kind of just after WrestleMania 5, so like the Mega Powers thing was over. Like Savage had already lost the title to Hogan, so I really grew up with Randy Savage as a bitter heel, and so I never lived through that era. So Austin and The Rock to me was like incredibly different. And because it had always been, there was one guy, you know, Diesel, Brett, Sean, then not Sean, then Sean, then not Sean, then Sean, then not Sean, and then Brett again for a while, and then Austin, you know, and then The Rock, and then Austin and The Rock, and that was a really special time. But it's the only time it's ever really happened.
And it's so often especially ever since then, it's like, we're going to tell you who to like. And Diesel's kind of like that too. And even Hogan by the end was like, I mean, obviously Hogan was popular in the beginning, but you know, Austin and The Rock are different because we actually did like them. Cena, I don't know. I mean, I know he was popular, but I also know it was like 50-50. Like a lot of people didn't like him. Roman, it doesn't seem like anybody ever liked that guy.
Not as a baby face.
This is the guy, and we're going to push him. Yeah, once he turned heel, it changed. But
Well, I think so
People.
much of what worked in favor of Austin and The Rock, and I know Austin has kind of talked about it when he talks about that WrestleMania X7 main event, is they remember they did that sit down interview together with JR, and Austin said when he said to The Rock, you know, like, I need to beat you, Rock. Like, I need it more than anything I've ever needed in my life. Like, Austin said he meant that because in his mind, he was seeing The Rock overshadow him. And I think the competition between the two of them to just be the absolute best, and then them also having, you know, just kind of like a backstage, like a good working relationship. Like, they went out there and they've both said it. They were just trying to have fun every time they went out in the ring together. And it really showed through with that in the competition, you know?
Well, it was one of those few times where it didn't get super backstabby. And
nobody get super what? Say it again.
Backstabby.
Oh, okay.
And nobody politicked somebody out of their spot. You know, it was, they both just stayed, and you know, they both kind of left around the same time. Also, I was in the building for Rock versus Austin, the third one, Austin's last match. And I mean, that was insane. You know, just the crowd heat, the energy, insane. So anyway, Chris Jericho versus Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah, refed by young William H. Macy.
So something I really liked about this match was, well, and it's not about the match, is everybody kept talking about how, oh, this is the first belt we've gotten back from the NWO. The NWO was they're running roughshod, but we finally got one back.
Yep. Who had the belt before Jericho?
Six. And
Okay, right.
It was cool because it's like, yeah, it like that brought me back to that moment. It brought me back to remembering what it felt like at that time, and it was a nice little piece of nostalgia.
Yeah.
That because it's like. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Things were really dire for a while, weren't they? Like shit was bad, you know?
Yep. No, and it was, that's a great point. Like so I remember there was Luger beat Hogan for the title for like a week.
Is that before this?
I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then Hogan won it back a week later at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then nothing for like months, and then DDP gets one over on Nash and Hall.
Right.
And that was like the first like really advantage WCW got over NWO. And then like 3 months later, Jericho and Six have a house show match, but they're promoting, like, if you go to WCW.com, you can listen to the show live, like a radio. And they really like kept pushing it. Like, we're going to be in Los Angeles. You should listen to this. And that's where Jericho beat Six. And it was on a house show. And Jericho winning the title was like a really big deal because, somebody in the NWO lost. And
you know what? I appreciate, you know, because there's been a few times where stuff like that has happened in wrestling history, you know, the titles changing at a house show. Yeah. I loved shit like that because it felt real, you know? It felt like there was actually stakes, like, to these house shows. Because so much of the time you go to a house show and it's just, you know, a party, basically. And everyone getting a chance to showcase. But stuff like that, I mean, that's really gave you, like, that suspension of disbelief that anything could happen at any time.
Yeah, that's where Diesel beat Backlund, was for the title at a house show.
And they didn't like flip flop the tag belts a few times at house shows.
Yeah,
like
they've done that a few times.
Era, yeah.
Intercontinental title as well with Edge and Jarrett. I remember.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about this match is we do see some early Jericho, like, kind of staples. You know, he hits a couple lion salts, a nice tiger driver. Like, to me, shades of what he would later become.
Yeah, and you know that Andy that was something I actually had written down.
Great chain wrestling to start the match between the two. Very, very smooth, very quick.
Hits a tiger driver. Not a tiger driver 98 because it hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah, because it was only 1997.
Yeah, that's right. No,
there's even little things he does where, like, this is just my weird note. Like, the way he adjusts his waistband, and I'm like, oh shit, that motherfucker's been doing that for 30 years. Like, he's still, like, certain
And you know what?
quirks.
To me, Jericho was someone who his snap suplexes were very distinct. The way Jericho would hit a snap suplex, I mean, there's it's one of those moves that everyone kind of does, but there's two guys to me who hit some of the most beautiful snap suplexes. And I hate to say it, but over Jericho was Benoit, man. That guy's snap suplexes
for sure
were fierce. Like, Jesus Christ. But anyway.
Well, he's later on the card.
Yeah, he is. Fucking that match was so fun. So, I mean, the match pretty much ends. Jericho hits a power bomb into a pin for the 1, 2, 3. Jericho is still your cruiserweight champion.
It was a really, really good match, and I would also say that this is prime work rate Chris Jericho. You know, fresher from his time in Japan and ECW.
Fast.
Very fast, but we got to give it up to Ultimo Dragon. This is a guy. I was a huge mark for Ultimo Dragon and Malenko
he looks
and all
so
those dudes.
Fucking cool.
But he could work with Americans really easily and adapted to the American television style. There was kind of nothing this dude couldn't do. And then like later, you know, incidentally, he just happens to train like Kazuchika Okada. Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever.
No big deal.
No big deal.
No biggie. Just the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
Ultimo Dragon is one of my. Yeah, he's up on that high shelf. Like,
he's just fantastic, man.
Yep.
And I think this is one of the best matches of the show, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It felt
definitely.
It was, you know, and like you were talking about putting on your 1990s glasses or whatever, and you don't really have to. This was a match where you absolutely didn't have to. You could pass this match today.
Yep.
And it would be fine. You know,
it would look right at home in AEW.
Totally.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
Easily. But all right, both men shake hands, you know, nice little show of sportsmanship. And then next we get another modern little twist of 1997 modernity. We get Mean Gene promoting the WCW hotline.
Right.
And then he goes, and I love this. He has a little chat with Raven, who's sitting ringside with Stevie Richards. Raven gives us a nice little poem as he did, which I know a lot of people didn't get it, but I loved it, you know. But I mostly knew Raven from ECW because I wasn't watching a lot of WCW as a kid. But I love that Stevie then alludes to them having a big surprise coming up, a big announcement, and Raven just fucking clocks him.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Mean Gene says, "Shallow relationship."
Yeah. So, a couple things about this. So when I see Raven sitting there, you know, and I think he had been on
out of his mind,
and of all people to interview Raven, it's Mean Gene, which is the funniest. For some reason, that just cracks me up to begin with. This is like oil and water; these are not similar elements, you know. And Raven gets up and does this whole soliloquy that is so out of place and like.
It's very Edgar Allan Poe. You know,
it's very overly long 90s. Look at me, I'm smart kind of thing.
You know what I loved though about this he did so often was you would think you knew where he was going with a rhyme, and then he would just say something completely different.
Yeah,
like he had said something that had "or," and then he goes, "Quote the Raven, not again."
Yeah.
The thing I love about this, and this is why another reason I'm glad you guys picked this pay-per-view. He does this whole big fucking Edgar Allan Poe thing. Oh, dreams, and it's all about dreams. And then at the end, he looks at Gene and he says, "Have you any dreams you'd like to sell?" And I'm like, you just fucking quoted Stevie Nicks again. Whole promo, and it's in ECW. And my friends and I have laughed about this for years about him. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's on the park bench and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, what does he say? But then I saw my reflection in a snow-covered hill. And I brought it down.
And he's supposed to be the grunge guy quoting fucking Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac?
What's next, Raven? You listening to fucking Yacht Rock next? What are we doing next?
It's like you got a foreigner fucking...
You got to quote some Hall & Oates?
Oh my God. You better watch out, Stevie Richards.
Yeah. Private eyes are watching you.
Oh, that's where I thought you were going when you were talking about that.
Oh, next up we got Masahiro Chono and the Great Muda, who looked cool as fuck, dude. He had like a silver sparkly skull mask with like a sparkly silver cobra on his shoulder.
Yeah, the big dragon snake thing.
That's it. And they're taking on the Steiner brothers, who look much more badass and legit than we last covered in Great American Bash.
Yeah.
They had some time. That was 89. Now we're in 97. Steiner, I didn't love the ponytail on Scott.
No.
The goatee looked okay, though. I remember when he cut his hair short and he had the goatee, I was like, no. And then he dyed it blonde. And then when he bleached it, it was like, okay. New gimmick.
Came in the ring with a fucking tiger.
This is an era. So, like, I'm a huge Steiners fan. The Steiner brothers went to my high school, which I always have to. You went to my high school, Blade?
No, yeah, same.
And they were legit. You know, I mean, they always say that, but it's like, yeah, like you can go look at the fucking records things, and like they took us to wrestling championships, state championships, all that. This is an era of the Steiners that it's not necessarily their fault, but that plastic gear that they wore, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It's that ultra vinyl, like shiny vinyl, because that's what everybody was starting to wear, and they were trying to look contemporary.
Yeah. It doesn't look. It's like the precursor to those pants, like those plastic pants that, like,
yeah.
I don't like those either.
Like the vinyl Jenko pants or whatever. But
like the 3 count or whatever.
Vinyl Jenko. Jenko was denim, brother.
I know. I'm saying they look as if. Dare.
I used to rock the fuck out of some Jenko jeans. Okay, when I was a rollerblader.
Wow, rollerblader. Listening to LL Cool J.
You can fold up Jinkos and like stack 3 of them, and they go all the way
in vinyl Jinkos. Yeah. So I was gonna say, I think the prime time for the Steiners is like 89 to 94.
Yeah,
and this is like they're getting to like a little over the hill for the tag team itself.
Yeah.
They're not being treated as like the team the way that they had been before they left
great
the first
in this
time.
match, though, man. The way the match starts,
they always
with them with the double clotheslines off the fucking top rope.
Yeah. Well, and they also respect Muda and Chono because these guys can like defend themselves, and you can tell when the Steiners don't respect somebody because they fucking murder them. They did not murder these guys. I just wanted to say, so earlier in the 90s, Masahiro Chono had come over. Muda had already been there in 89 and became a legend like in 1 year.
Yep.
Chono came over and he wore white tights. He was this really bland baby face, and he was a good wrestler. I liked watching his matches. He was the first guy I ever saw do the STF, taught to him by Lou Thez. And he was trained by Lou Thez, actually. And seeing him here, he had a neck injury. He became more of a brawler. The guy who gave him the neck injury happened to be Steve Austin. And much like Stone Cold, after he had a neck injury and became more of a brawler, he developed a bigger personality and went on to be a much bigger star.
Well, and he joined the NWO too, which I think was a great move. Getting him in the black gear,
for him and Muda,
with the fucking shades on, and that fit really well with that kind of like badass brawler style. Like he hits a great. Those mafia kicks he would do, man, so fucking cool.
Yep.
Muda in this, the one of the spot. I mean, it's not even like the craziest spot, but like he hits that real fucking good snapmare into that flying snap elbow. Oh, beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful Muda. Most of what Muda did was beautiful, but
I love his very tiny, very, very tiny writing on his face that says New World Order.
Yeah. He had the black face.
Yeah, but he had like kanji back in the past, right? So it makes sense.
Yes. Cool. But Muda is like every movement that Muda makes is like a piece of art. It's like watching it's like if pro wrestling was modern dance. It's like wild how much snap there is on everything.
It's how I felt about Nakamura when he first
Right.
kind of came out.
Exactly.
The way he wrestled reminded me a lot of Muda. Because
Right.
it was kind of that same, like, this is an art that
It's
it's
majestic.
Yeah.
It feels like you're a hero of legend. That
Yes.
there's been folk
Yes.
tales written about.
Well, that was what
Nakamura.
was so great about Muda, is there always was kind of that, like, mysterious air to him. At least to me as a kid, like, whenever I would see stuff with Muda, he always kind of mystified.
Well, and these guys are accompanied, as every Japanese wrestler was, by the one and only Sonny Ono. And Sonny is very good friends with Eric Bischoff. And Sonny has to look like a badass for some reason in this match. And he's throwing a lot of kicks. And at one point he misses the Steiners and kicks Muda, I think. Leading to, wasn't it like a DDT off Rick Scott off the top rope? DDT's Muda.
Wait, something's happened where the referee is like chewing out Chono,
right?
And he's like, "Yo, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here!" And then so he doesn't even bother breaking up the pin because he's like, "I'm afraid of the ref. Like, I can't, I'm not there." There
were also a couple, I think it's just a language thing. There was a couple miscues where Chono was a little out of position a couple times, but he covered for it.
He respected the ref.
You're like, this man is terrified of Mark Curtis, this tiny referee. Yes,
right. He's not.
After that distraction was how we get to the finish. It allows the Steiners to hit a big doomsday version of the Steiner line. Rick gets the cover on Muda, 1, 2, 3, and I didn't realize until the end of this match that they're now the number one contenders for the tag titles. The Steiners
was my favorite. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. You're going to find out that I'm going to do that probably 7 or 8, maybe 50 more times.
Do it.
That was one of the things. What's the storyline for this fucking thing? Well, the storyline for this angle is that the Steiners are really stupid and they signed a shitty contract and they thought they were going to get a title shot, but they're dumb. And so since they're dumb, they can't have a title shot. It was like, really? I mean, it's fine. And
you can kind of buy it with those two.
Well, like I said, I mean, we're from the same hometown, so yeah, that tracks.
Well, I mean, it tracks. I'm talking to you. It kind of all checks out to me,
Yeah,
which I know everyone. I mean, we're not Fed fans anymore. But I will say, I saw a clip and I thought it was hilarious. It's over SummerSlam for the weekend. Breaker had already had his straps pulled down, so he puts them back on just so he can pull them down
again. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's cool.
Nice.
Anyway, it was a pretty fun match. It was short and sweet. It
was a fun match.
Good tag match. Good Steiner match.
I thought it was good, but like I mentioned before, it's like, I feel like the fun of the Steiners just wasn't there at this point. It's just a little too far into their career.
Scott
what are we going to do with these guys?
Scott also got really big, and so he didn't move quite the same anymore.
He's puffy. And
he's very puffy.
Well, this was like right before he gets into big Papa Pump era,
Right.
But next up, we have a match that would have looked like it would have been right at home on an episode of Collision with all of the great multi-person matches they give us on Saturday and sometimes Thursday nights. We have a 6-man Lucha Libre tag match between Juventud Guerrera, Hector Garza, and Lizmark Jr. taking on La Parca, Psychosis, and Villano 4. Which is hilarious because later in the match, Villano 5 tries to come in, but is thwarted. But the first thing I gotta say is I fucking loved Psychosis and La Parca back as a kid because I'm into all the spooky shit. But you had La Parca in like the cool kind of mariachi skeleton suit.
Yeah, he had a sombrero and shit.
Yep. Psychosis had that awesome fucking mask with the horns, the bull horns. But what I thought like really tied him together was he had that fucking curly mop, dude. Yeah. Like he looked like a goddamn bull Like the only person who can out-bowl Psychosis is the Beast Mortis.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
But
he
this
looks like
match,
the old
I mean,
muscle action figures.
I could not keep fucking track of doing any play-by-play of this match. It's Lucha Libre. People are flying all over the fucking place. It's kind of like I said, the same as how the multi-person matches on Collision go, where it's just bodies flying everywhere. But
it was fun.
For me, was probably my favorite match of the night. Like
it was
I had
way
so
up
much
there,
fun
big
watching
time.
this.
And the announcers were just as shocked by it as anyone. Like it was great because it was like they had never seen a wrestling match. Like they're asking to know the most basic. Well, now what do you think he'd do after a 2 count? Well, as a luchador, he would kick out after 2. It's like those are just wrestling questions.
Yeah. My favorite line of the match is Psychosis hits Juventud with a kind of sweet little like flip over off the top rope, and Juventud lands on his head kind of, and Bobby the Brain Heenan, deadpan, calm as hell, he broke his neck.
Yeah.
Just no punctuation, no exclamation on it. Just well, he broke his neck.
Yep. I really
Psychosis go, oh shit.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, they're asking like, how does he do this? And Heenan just goes, well, he has no bones.
Yeah. I really liked seeing young Juventud. He just, he was a very special talent. And then I hadn't seen a Hector Garza match in like forever. And man, he was exciting. He was a little bigger than the rest of them. And man, he could really fly. I mean, those twisting tornillos he was doing, that was so ahead of its time. And
Liz Mark held the spot of generic luchador.
Well, and he was a little greener than they were too. He was just a little greener. Yeah.
I will say, so I noticed we had William H. Macy reffing this match again.
This is Mark Curtis you're talking about.
Is that who it is? Okay.
Yeah. He looked like William H. Macy.
Yes.
But I got to ask you both now. Are you a plain shirt bow tie guy, or are you zebra stripes? What do you like for your ref?
I actually like plain shirt bow tie.
Same.
Yeah. Because
I think it's because I'm a sucker, and this is why I think I fell in love with AEW as well, is I'm a sucker for like the kind of classic look of things in pro wrestling. It's why we talked about it, where Wrestle Kingdom or whatever, like at wrestling does not look as cool as it does at the Tokyo Dome, and it always looks like it was pulled out of time from like the early 90s. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like, so they say when you watch sporting events back then, there's always that blue kind of tint or whatever. And it was from the cigarette smoke in the lights. And something about like the Tokyo Dome still has that kind of like aura to it, which it almost has like a dreamlike quality. Like you almost
it has a surreal
some classic
quality,
fever dream of a fucking wrestling event.
Yeah. And that's a good way to say it, that it's pulled out of time. I like when referees, and I can't tell you, someone more knowledgeable will be able to help me here. But like when you see old shit and maybe it's like world class and the referee's just wearing like a red shirt and green pants or something. And it's like, he's wearing a uniform, but it's not a referee's uniform. Yeah. It's just kind of on. It's like a polo shirt or something. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff always like, cause it's so weird. Like it's just out of place.
I just don't like the refs to stand out too much. I mean, like, cause Aubrey does the stripes and it looks great, like, and it's really up to the ref not to take over the match. Very fun. I'm glad you brought up Mark Curtis in this match because he spends a lot of the match sitting in the corner, sitting on his ass in the corner because he doesn't know where to go to be out of the way. Yep. So he's literally like sitting on his ass, just like, go at it. You're like, you're not going to see that very often.
I will say to your point, though, with the refs, the part of their job is to not take the attention away from the action. There's a couple who can get away with it, who become kind of characters in their own right. Aubrey is one, and, Earl Hebner was the same way.
Earl Hebner was definitely that way.
Nick Patrick became kind of a character in his own right. But I like, you save those guys for special special moments. And I like that like that's become Aubrey in AEW. She's when you're waiting for that ref to come down after the main ref's been knocked out, you see Aubrey coming down, she gets a pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's become AEW's like main attraction referee, if you can.
When I had some, I think I mentioned earlier, some non-wrestling fans over for All In, and they loved Aubrey. Absolutely loved everything she did. I made up little bingo cards for everybody, and one of the squares was Aubrey don't take no shit, because it's like, fucking, like even my kid pops for Aubrey, like just a badass.
No, and Bryce Remsburg is that way too, where he's got a certain way of holding himself that just kind of like makes him noticeable. And like when somebody pisses him off or like, and he really gives it to him, and he's like this little teeny tiny little bald dude, like diminutive. He is fucking hilarious. And Earl was always really funny that way too, where he was like, you know, if like the heel just fucked with him too much and he just fucking had it with him and he just went ape shit on somebody
in the face.
Yeah.
Love it when a ref grabs their shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see this?
Yep. Exactly. You can't touch me. Like somebody said that actually at this show. I don't remember what match it was in, but somebody literally did say that. Yeah.
Well, what's his in that Steiner? Who was the ref in that Steiner's match? I mean, he was fucking going off at the end of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing his face is bright red. I'm like, dude. Like,
was it Nick Patrick?
No, it's keep going through their names.
Was it Randy Anderson, Pee Wee?
No.
He wouldn't do that anyway.
Bigger guy. You said it earlier. I can't think of what you said now.
Well, it's not Mark Curtis because
Mark Curtis.
Yeah, because he was too.
Shit, I can't think of what his name was. Whatever. It'll come to me when we're done taking.
Let me see. Refs were Scott Dickinson, Mickey J, Jimmy J.
It's Mickey J.
Mickey J. He's the bigger guy. Yep.
Well, next up, we have a no DQ retirement match.
Yes.
Featuring the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan against Chris Benoit. And Taskmaster is accompanied to the ring by Jacqueline, and Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart. And Taskmaster and Jacqueline are not really on the same page. It was giving me vibes of, have y'all seen Jackie Brown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Been a long time.
You remember at the end when De Niro's kind of trying to like hustle Bridget Fonda out of the mall after they swap the shit, and she's just kind of like, Louis, and then he shoots her. It's giving me those vibes. Anyway, this match, man, they just fucking fought all over the place. They fight up into the fucking surfboards on the ramp. They tear down the fucking tiki bar.
Yeah.
They tear down the lifeguard stand. Kevin Sullivan's smacking Benoit with surfboards. They're fighting in the plants.
God, Sullivan is so dangerous with those. If he has an object in his hand, he is going to hit you really hard with it. Like, now these guys in real life hated each other at this point, and they were trying to be professional. And you could tell they were laying some shit in at the beginning. And then they start like kind of like working more as the match goes along. Yeah. Kevin Sullivan, we talked about this earlier, Brett. That dude is so short, but he is so fucking stacked.
Yeah. Those Christmas ham thighs.
Yeah, he's got huge thighs, never skips leg day.
Never.
I've just developed this like total affinity for watching him wrestle since we did Bash 89. Like, Same. He is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know who was really fun to watch in this match? Jacqueline.
Yeah, so that was what kept popping me during this match, is it's basically Kevin Sullivan and Jacqueline versus Benoit.
Yeah. Well, it's no DQ, and she's like trying to kick Benoit's ass, and then he pushes her out of the way, and then she'll just start kicking Sullivan's ass.
Does Benoit just throw her at one point?
They both do at a few different points. Also, Jimmy Hart takes a bump in this match, which
he does. He does.
You know, Jimmy Hart, I did the math on this. He's born in 1944. So in this match, Jimmy is he's 53.
Damn, Jimmy.
and he climbs that little like lifeguard chair thing.
Yeah, and they fucking
It gets pushed over. Jimmy takes a bump. Jackie takes a bump. Jackie looks amazing.
yeah,
oh my
she does.
god!
Jackie
Like,
was such a badass.
she was so like
Super cool.
she just like holy shit. She is hot as fuck. I don't know any
that's
other
true.
way to say it.
I do love. We also see, which I think this might be one of the only examples I've seen of a wrestler who was interviewed at ringside earlier in the night, still in their fucking seat. Raven and Stevie Richards just still sitting there looking.
They watched the whole show. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't just do their interview and leave like everybody else does these days.
They were actually, they bought seats. They paid admission. They were watching the show.
Listen, those seats are usually given out to press and important people like that and investors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
They're
want
like,
to
we're not
shout
going to
out
waste this once in a lifetime opportunity.
Right?
Jimmy Hart, who gave us the greatest theme song of all time, the theme that I use for all of my creative wrestlers on 2K, which is Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield. I fucking love that song. Eat your heart out, Rick Springfield. So
God.
good, so cheesy, so Springsteen-y. But yeah, man, I mean, this match was pretty much just them beating the shit out of each other all over the stage until we get into the ring. You know, Benoit with those fucking chops that he does, man, so good. But it takes a two cross faces, which he is fucking wrenching back. Sullivan still doesn't fucking quit, but we finally, Jacqueline comes in with a wooden cabana chair and just smashes it over Sullivan's head.
Blows up.
Oh my god, dude! Like just it disintegrates this chair.
It looked brutal.
Over his head.
It looked brutal.
Allows Benoit to get to the top rope, hits that flying headbutt. 1, 2, 3. See you later, Sullivan. Thanks for the career. Thanks for the Christmas ham thighs.
Mhm.
It's
And Bobby
retirement.
Heenan thanks him twice, and I thought that was really weird. Did you guys catch that? Like he's like,
No, I
thank
didn't.
you, Kevin Sullivan. And then it kind of gets quieter, and he's like, thank you. Like just kind of under his breath. I'm like,
Huh. Well, they might have been buddies, you know? I mean, because
Yeah.
I know that Kevin Sullivan at this time was having, or had, I don't know exactly what the timeline is, but he took a break from WCW, like even backstage, because he had a really bad drug problem and alcohol problem. And so he took some time away, and when he came back, he ended up booking again. But, you know, his divorce and all of that with Nancy really did a number on him. And so he was going through a lot at this particular moment. But, you know, you got to respect him. And then, you know, it was kind of cool. You know, Jimmy's like freaking out on him. One of the only times you ever see Jimmy without sunglasses on.
yeah.
And you kind of see why.
Jimmy was
'cause he looks
raging
like,
at the end of that match. You
Yeah.
blew it for us.
We count
You
on
blew
you,
it for
baby.
everyone.
yeah, you ruined it. You ruined it, baby. You
You
ruined
let
it.
everybody down.
You let us all down. And
It's
then,
your heart out, Rick Springfield.
and then Kevin, you know, like decks Jimmy and like gets the baby face pop on the way out. That was a cool way to send the Taskmaster out. Like, I have nothing but respect for Kevin Sullivan as a wrestler.
you know,
He was great.
Fantastic.
He's a guy that he's like a vague, I saw you in a lot of wrestling magazines when I was a kid.
He had a good spooky crew for a while.
Yeah, dude, totally. I'm like with a Buddha Dean and all that shit. And like, but I've probably maybe only seen 10 matches my whole life. So this was great to watch.
But
No.
hey,
Oh, yeah.
we always have the Dungeon of Doom, baby.
Always, baby.
The Dungeon of Doom. The Alliance to end Hulkamania.
I got to tell you, we met Jimmy Hart one time at a comic show, and I didn't know he was going to be there. Like I knew Jake the Snake was there, and it was just a really small show. And my wife's like, "Hey, I think that guy over there is a wrestler." I'm like, "Which guy?" She's like, "Well, the man who's so tan he looks like a piece of shoe leather, and he has an airbrush jacket on and hair that looks like it's dyed with shoe polish." Sure enough, he's over there. And I walked past him, and like, because I wasn't going to talk to him because I wasn't going to get an autograph. I think I didn't really care. But I kind of wanted to say hi to him at least. And I walked back and I look at him and I assumed we caught Like he had sunglasses on, but I think our eyes met, and he just goes, "Hey, baby," and
hey, baby.
that was it. Just, hey, baby, and that was. I just fucking. I'm like, oh, that's all I ever wanted. Thank you.
It's like one time. So I used to be a plumber, right? And the company I worked for, we did a lot of breweries as our like main kind of like industry that we worked with. And so we did Stone Brewing, which I know a lot of people know about. Oh, well, they're like one of the bigger like craft companies that's now like nationwide that started here. But they did a beer in conjunction with No Effects, right? And so we did. I had like a residency plumbing thing there for a while. I was working there for like a year or so. And one day I'm just like soldering some pipe, and I look up, and Fat Mike is like walking towards me,
Right?
and I just go, "Hey, Fat Mike," and like point, and he just like looks over and he goes, "Fuck yeah, dude," and then just keeps walking.
That's awesome.
Great. That's great.
All right, moving on. We got Steve Mongo McMichael taking on United States champion Double J Jeff Jarrett. Now Mongo's coming out with Deborah, and he's got his metal briefcase, and he looks straight down the barrel of the camera and says, "You should have never dumped in my chili." I don't know what that means, but like, I mean, man, he had some oomph behind it, so I bought into it. Do not dump at Steve Mongo McMichael's chili. And if you don't know who Mongo McMichael was, he was a former football star, turned pro wrestler,
famous football star.
Yeah, very famous football star. And he looked cool, man. I mean, he was basically just a big beefcake, you know. Jarrett comes out. He's got the streamer shirt on. He's got the blonde hair. He's clean shaven. And he's kind of in the heel role in this, you know. Oh, the crowd very, very like, even before the match even starts, we get a pretty hard Jarrett sucks chant, which is the loudest I had really heard the crowd up until this point.
Yeah. This was maybe my favorite match of the whole show.
Yeah.
Really?
Because that's where I get into that whole like my 20-year-old brain versus my 48-year-old brain.
Right.
Because if you asked me who my two least favorite wrestlers were back then, these two men would have been on that. They would have been number 1 and number 1A, or 1A and 1B, whatever. I fucking hated them. I hated both of them. I loved the shit out of this match. I like Mongo and Deborah because that's how we always talk. Every time he talked about her. And like, Mongo can't wrestle for shit.
Nope.
He hits some good looking fucking spears though.
He does. There's a point where he jumps up on the bottom rope and he fucks it up. Like he stumbles. And it's the first thing of the match. He, at any point in the match, you can tell exactly what he's about to do. Like he's very deliberate. It's very obvious. But there's watching him now, I just got a huge kick out of it. Like I looked at him as more of a character. And like you said, got a good spear. He's got some big power moves. He's just a big fucking doof. And
he finishes you with the tombstone. That's a very believable move for him to do. Sure. The thing is, too, about Mongo, we said this when he passed, was I hated him at first. And by the time he left WCW, I had really grown to like him. And I figured out what it is. Who is Steve McMichael? He's an ex-football player who wrestles, right? What does Steve McMichael wrestle like? A football player who became a wrestler. Yep. He's sloppy. His shit doesn't look very crisp, but everything that involves running and trucking somebody a very long distance looks great. And it looks like a real fight when he's in the ring. And I like that about him. So what I like about this match is an angle. It's not really a match. It's like, Mongo matches are like punch, punch, kick, suplex, spear, clothesline, Deborah, Pepe. So the angle was that Jarrett had been trying to get into the Four Horsemen. Mongo didn't want him in the Four Horsemen, and Deborah had like.
Which do you want to give us who at this point in time were the Four Horsemen?
Yeah, I believe it's Benoit, it's McMichael, it's Flair and Arn Anderson still.
And where Arn wasn't on the show, like where was he?
He's not wrestling at this point.
No, I knew that, but I mean, he wasn't even like. I just he wasn't even there. Like,
no, he was never on camera,
okay.
But he would be on Nitros. He would come out like he had almost become like the Paul Ellering of the Horsemen, where like he'd come out
or the James J. Dillon,
where he'd come out like dressed up, but he wouldn't wrestle, and it was weird because I never even questioned it, until he announced his retirement. Then I was like, oh, I guess he hasn't wrestled for a really long time.
He was 45 in 1982, so
he was born 45 years old. Yeah,
he still looks. Even when I go back and watch 80s Arn Anderson, he still looks older than me, and I know he's like 20 years younger than me.
Right. Like when he's 25, he looks 20 years older than I look right now. So anyway, McMichael has seen through Jarrett's bullshit this entire time. He's seen the hostile takeover like in the works. He's trying to protect Flair. He's trying, he's being a loyal horseman. And Deborah like always feels sorry for Jeff and kind of like takes pity on him. And this is the match where they finally, she literally turns on her own husband and hits him with the fucking briefcase. Mongo gets pinned by Jarrett. And the years-long on-screen relationship with Deborah and Jeff Jarrett begins at this event.
Yeah, the match ended really abruptly.
It's kind of a...
It's 6.5 minutes long. It's 7 minutes long.
And the other half of what I was saying earlier about the whole, like, these are the two guys I hated the most. It's like, this is my brain processing it now, it's like, okay, here's an era where the two least popular things you could be in 1997 were a sincere face or a heel that gets booed. And that's what you had in this match. Because Jarrett's not wearing a cool t-shirt. He's not doing cool catchphrases. He's a fucking heel. He's a straight up heel. He's stalling outside the ring. He's wearing a shirt that is so unbelievably stupid looking that at the time I'm like, come on, why would he wear that? Now I look at it and I'm like, well, of course, he's a heel, They're just like two guys out of time. They shouldn't have been in 1997, but watching them in 2025, it's like, I enjoyed it.
Jeff looks like some Colonel Sanders motherfucker. Like it's so wild because
you ever seen Django Unchained?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like fucking Big Daddy.
Yeah. It's like the thing is like what he's wearing is like a classed up version of his WWF gear because that was the most garish shit I've ever seen in my life. Jeff Jarrett, 1994 Jeff Jarrett. Hands down, the ugliest gear.
I think
Naked Midian was better.
Bastion Booger.
I think the only version of Jarrett I ever really cared for or thought looked cool was when he got the short hair, spiky hair, and he was just rocking like the silver shorts, and his "Don't piss me off" era.
Don't piss me off. But even then, it's like. He was trying to be an edgy heel, and it was like, Jeff, you're not an edgy person. You're just not, man.
It never suited him.
Never suited him.
He was when him and Owen were a tag team. That's kind of the only time I really ever liked him. And now, and I
enjoyed him up until that promo with
the
Matt.
first wrestling match.
Well, he's gone.
The first wrestling match I ever saw was Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart defeating a young Edge and Christian on a dark match on an episode of Sunday Night Heat.
The first match you ever saw in your whole life?
Yep, in person. In person.
Cool. Oh, in person.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yep.
That's rad.
But moving right along, we have another backstage segment with Mean Gene pushing the hotline and announcing Road Wild. We get a little video package for Road Wild. And then we get a little promo with a Hulk Hogan and the motherfucking worm, Dennis Rodman. It's one of those, kind of wavy camera, NWO music's playing in the background. I don't even know what the fuck Hogan said. We'll just skip that. Dennis Rodman's rocking a straw beach hat.
Dude, he's like he's out gardening.
Yeah.
With the hat with the little visor.
And it's at this point when we get down to the next match that I've decided that I'm now giving out a fan of the night award, or best most fashionable fan award each week. And this one goes to the dude in the front row rocking the spaghetti strap little tank top with shades on in the building and a little dad hat, because that guy understood that it was a bash at the beach and he looked like he was ready to hang out at the beach. So to that dude, congratulations. You are the fashionable fan of the show.
Okay, I have another award to give out real quick. It's the most annoying fan of the show is the super aggro bald guy who is jawing with like Scott Hall. He's like getting into it with Chono. It's like, dude, Chono will end your life.
Well, let's get into it then, because next up we've got Scott Hall and the Macho Man taking on DDP and a mystery partner who turns out to be Kurt Hennig. No pop.
There was nothing. It was like
they did not give a shit.
I think they were just really confused, to be honest. I think so. Like, they're in the back. Yeah, they come out to DDP's music. If they had wanted the fans to really notice him, they would have had separate music for him. But he comes out. It always sounds weird when the announcers freak out, but the fans don't. And the announcers are like, "It's Kurt Hennig! Oh my god!" Ah! And the fans are just like, "Who cares?" They just didn't get. And honestly, to Kurt Hennig's credit, he got in really good shape.
He did.
He looked jacked.
He did. And I did love how they start the match. You get, DDP and Macho Man go at it first, but I love when Hennig and Scott Hall first get in the ring together. Scott Hall flicks the toothpick in his face, and just immediately Kurt Hennig just spits his gum right in fucking.
Yep. Well, and these dudes have so much history together because they were a tag team in the AWA together.
Right.
Yep.
And they also wrestled each other in the main event of Survivor Series. Savage and Hennig versus Flair and Razor Ramon.
Right. Yep. And then DDP is Hennig, or not Hennig, Scott Hall's manager in WCW, right?
Yeah, he was Diamond Stud when he was Diamond Stud.
Yes, he was,
The Stud stable.
Yeah.
But this match, I mean, most of it, DDP's got the ribs taped. He's getting his ribs worked on a lot of the
years
match.
long.
A lot of good
he took his shirt off, I just about died. That motherfucker had his ribs taped for so long. It's in the video game. It's an alternate attire in the game. Because he just always had his ribs taped.
Well, in my favorite version of DDP, he didn't even wear tights. He just wore jeans and he had his ribs taped. The version, the action figure that I bought of DDP this year is him doing the diamond cutter thing with the rib tape and jeans.
Oh, yeah. That's how I think of him. Yes.
I mean, this wasn't a super. I mean, kind of a whatever match to me.
It was,
It ends rather anticlimactically, if you ask me, with
notorious hothead Kurt Hennig.
Yeah, so DDP, they had been working him over, and Kurt Hennig gets sent into the ropes at the same time DDP's trying to use the ropes on the outside to pull himself up, which flips Kurt, and pisses him off.
It was supposed to.
It was meant to happen. And so Kurt gets pissed off, fucking clocks DDP, and then just walks away up the ramp. It lets Hall hit the Razor's Edge. Macho hits the flying elbow. 1, 2, 3. That's the match.
Savage looks so much slower here.
He did.
I've been watching I've still been on that same set that I was posting in the Discord like forever ago, degree where of the ICW Randy Savage. And, you know, he's so like slim and athletic and just like fucking, he's an insane athlete during that time. And he's significantly like slowed down. I don't think I noticed it as much at the time because.
Yeah, you see it.
You know, and he could still do his shit. It took him longer to do it. Yep. He didn't do very much in this match.
Well, he kind of took the role of the chicken shit a little bit.
Yeah, and he was also kind of the veteran on the apron a lot of the time.
Sure.
Yep. And
he looks like he's wearing like 4 pairs of sweatpants and 4 shirts.
Yeah.
And I'm not like he moves slow and something about him looks off. It doesn't look like the real Randy Savage.
Well, we're well into the period of body dysmorphia Randy Savage where he like covers up his entire body all the time.
I mean, at least he didn't pull the warrior with the airbrushed fucking muscles.
The flesh-colored it's naked Ultimate Warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the muscle thing was fine, but the naked is not.
No. But also like the muscle thing, it's like, Jim, you're actually buff.
Yeah.
Like you're smaller, but you're still ripped as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, how is painting your muscles on better?
If you want to look sexy as fuck, go to sickosclub.com/merch and get you some.
I want to get to this because this, I think, was my match of the night. I mean, we got Rowdy Piper versus the booze cruising, dive bar residing, back of the cop car riding, waitress accosting, pants shitting son of a gun, nature boy Ric Flair. And I mean, Rowdy Piper is one of my favorite fucking wrestlers of all time. Like,
totally,
hands down. And this match was fucking great. Like, really good. Flair got a lot of those good punches we were talking about last week. Every fucking worked punch Flair did look great. Roddy still looked like he was in great shape, moving fucking all over the place. I fucking loved how they did this. So early in the match, you know, they get in, and Piper just starts taking it to Flair right away. And so Flair rolls out of the ring to catch his breath, kind of retreats up the ramp a bit, and you get this shot of Flair looking back at the ring. And in that little side screen that they had at Bash at the Beach, you see a close-up of Piper, and it almost looks like he's looking down on Flair. Holy shit. Like,
yeah.
That was cool.
Accidental cinema.
That was so cool.
It was cool. Go ahead, Degree.
Yeah, this I felt like this one was a nice. I guess if I want to compare it to something more recent, I'll say like Hangman and Mox on Dynamite. Was it last week? Mm-hmm. In the sense that it was a very I don't want to. When I say by the numbers, I don't mean that in a negative way, but it was a wrestling match.
It was a good, solid wrestling match. Yeah,
just fucking wrestling, and then you have 2 guys who are the number 1 and number 2 dirtiest players in the game. So they're both poking each other's eyes. They're both doing the back rakes. It just it wasn't anything where you saw this amazing, innovative move that you've never seen before, but it was solid. Just a solid.
Piper was kicking his ass for most of the match. I mean, it was a while into the match, and Flair had only hit 1 slap until he hit an eye poke.
Does he have both of his hips at this point? Because didn't he have his hips replaced at some point?
He did later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this later after that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, fuck, dude, Piper doesn't look bad, man. Like, neither one of them looks bad.
No, this is like the very end of Roddy Piper's like viability as a wrestler. Yeah. It's crazy because Ric Flair wrestled for like another 15 years. Yeah. But the thing. So, look, there is no justice in who gets talent. Okay, there's no justice at all. Ric Flair, when that man leaves this earth, I am not going to be on social media. I am not going to do shit. Because Ric Flair, despite not being a person I think is a good person, despite being incredibly problematic in about 36 different ways.
And decades.
Is quite simply one of the greatest fucking wrestlers there's ever been, and he proves it in this match.
Yeah, and to me, it's different. It's not different in the way that they're both pieces of shit. In like, I don't want to glorify either of them really, but the difference to me between a Flair and a Hogan was that talent, you know, and it was that Flair also seemingly like he worked well with a lot of people, you know what I mean, and Flair did. It always seemed like Flair's first worry when he got into a ring was putting on the best goddamn wrestling match he could. You know what I mean?
Right. He could bring it. I mean, it's crazy that in like 2005, on the right night, he could still have the best match on the show. Like,
right?
Yeah,
like you're in there. You got Shawn Michaels in that promotion. You got like Shelton Benjamin, right? You could put them in a match with Ric Flair and have a fucking banger main event.
Yeah, and you know what? And he did with Shawn Michaels.
When his retirement match is great.
Yeah, we get that amazing moment with Shawn. You know, the "I love you, I'm sorry," you know, sweet chin music. And I mean, how old is Flair at that point? Like,
he's 50 something.
Well, I think in this pay per view he's like 43 or 45. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he's 45. Yeah,
I do want to point out what. One of my favorite Dusty lines of the night. So Flair hits a knee drop, you know, that kind of like, you know, Roddy's on his back. Flair's got the legs up and he hits him with that kind of knee drop to the inside of the legs or whatever. And Dusty just goes, the trapezius thing. He hit him in the trapezius thing. It's not nuts, it's the trapezius.
Yeah. I this was a fun match, and weird rules, right? Where it's like pinfall or a 10 count, something like that. And I forget how this one ends. Can you remind me?
Flair pulls out like a wad of tape out of his boot that like
it's supposed to be brass knuckles.
But it's not
Piper,
brass knuckles, right? It's
but Piper stops him, gets the knuckles himself. The ref is distracted because Roddy had kind of pushed him out of the way. So Roddy clocks Flair, and then because before this we had Benoit and Mongo run out.
At some point they're both KO'd.
Right. But they got back into the fighting, and that's when Flair goes to get the knuckles, but Roddy hits him with the knuckles and then throws him back down in his tights. He hits Flair with a sleeper hold. Flair's going down. William H. Macy lifts the arm. One.
Right. Yeah.
Lifts it again. Two. Lifts it one more time. Three. Boom, boom, boom. Your winner, Roddy Piper.
Yep.
Hell yeah. The match fucked. And it reminded me a lot, too, of the match we did last week, the main event between Funk and Flair, in that it very much felt like a brawl. It felt like two guys that hated each other, and they just put on a hell of a fucking fight, man. Like, it was a fight. That's what it was.
Piper and Flair were, like, extremely good friends. So, you know, they're laying shit in extra hard. They're like, you know, they wanted to give it their all. And, you know, I think Piper didn't stop wrestling after WCW, and he really should have. It was kind of sad to see his last few times in the ring because he's just out of shape. He doesn't look good.
Is that like TNA or where's that?
No, it's in WWE. Yeah.
Oh, that stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He even makes a guest appearance in the Hogan McMahon street fight at 19. And I was there. But yeah, and then he wrestles in like a handicap match where it's like Steamboat and Piper and Snuka versus Jericho.
Okay. I remember that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
But he just didn't look great. But him and Flair actually were tag team champions in WWF for like a minute.
Yeah. Well, all right, boys. Here we go.
Event.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching at home.
Millions.
Let's get ready to rumble! Michael Buffer gives us that great intro, and it is time for the main event. First out, we got the team of Lex Luger and the Giant, better known to most of you probably as Paul White, aka the Big Show, and they are taking on the team of, representing the NWO, Hulk Hogan and Dennis, the motherfucking worm rod, the bod, the bad boy, bad as he wanna be, Rodman, motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first impression was like wondering why we ever got so excited for Michael Buffer, because I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of announcers that like you just did it right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But then as he started talking, I took some notes, and he referred to Luger as being the man famous for his rack of doom.
Yeah.
And the Giant, he's like going off about how the Giant is so awesome. And he says,
well, you got to think too. Back in like the 90s,
nobody was like that at the time. He's the first.
Well, back before like the internet and shit, like they would find one person who did something like better than most, and then they were the only one because no one else like had a shot. You know what I mean?
When he says, he talks about how bad the Giant is, then he's like, a notion that the mangled bodies of his past opponents can attest to. And then as he's announcing, like Savage is coming out with Hogan and Rodman, he's like, oh, and it looks like Randy Savage is here. He's not supposed to be here, but it looks like he's making an impromptu appearance. Here he is, Randy Savage. Like, you're just totally fucking making that up with a microphone in your hand, you know?
And at this point, were they still kind of like playing into pretending that Paul White was Andre's kid?
No, they had gotten way away. That was like 95. This was so. Michael Buffer announced every big boxing main event.
Yeah.
So,
that's where the Let's Get Ready to Rumble became famous.
Right. So, like, I mean, to have him, it was a cool touch just because it meant something. Oh, yeah. Really. It gave it that big fight.
It gave it weight. Yeah. Yep.
Gave it the big fight feel, baby, which everybody still says to this day.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the match fucking sucked.
So it's like, We've watched a couple WCW main event matches from this time. Remember Hogan versus the Giant at Sold Out 98, I believe. And they all just kind of follow the same formula. It's this is technically the longest match of the show. It's like 22 minutes long.
Well, yeah, because half of the match is just fucking whoever's in the ring circling each other.
It's just
so much trotting.
There's just so much stalling. And the crowd goes ape shit when Dennis Rodman does an arm drag.
So does Luger.
Yeah. And everybody sells big for Rodman.
I gotta say, I was such a big Rodman fan as a kid. Like, I used to like. Sometimes my dad would take me to work with him, and I would play on the internet, early internet, and I would literally just Google pictures of Dennis Rodman because I thought he was cool as shit. Like, one of my favorite movies as a kid was fucking Double Team with him and John Van
In the beginning, in that beginning intro that I watched before the pay-per-view, and Tony Schiavone's like, tonight, Hulk Hogan will be teaming with one of the famous sports stars in the world. He's written a book. It's like this long pause, and then he mentions Double Team. He's like, he's even been in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I used to love fucking NBA Hang Time. I used to play that shit all the time because it was like 2-on-2. But if you picked the Bulls and you picked Rodman as one of your guys, you could change his hair color. And then Rodman got all weird and tried to be like a diplomat to North Korea and shit.
Well, Dennis is also a really out of control alcoholic, and I think like he is a very I can't remember. I was listening to a true crime thing about a lady who scammed him. Like she became his agent basically, and she wasn't at all who she told him she was, but it was really sad because he really trusted her, and it broke his heart because he had to turn her in. And she stole so much of his money. I mean, it's crazy how much money.
Wow.
So, these
Rodman,
things he does where he goes to North Korea and stuff, a lot of it's for money. It's like
the thing with Rodman, I know he became, like a MAGA dude and all that kind of shit, but like he always kind of seemed like a pretty like decent character dude, like I think he had maybe a couple spats in there, but he was one of those guys. I mean, he was known as being a bad boy on the court, but he was also, I mean, he was challenging fucking gender norms back in the day. He was wearing wedding dresses to photo events.
Right.
He was
once the doors opened, he just
was not afraid to lean into femininity in his presentation and stuff, and I don't know, at least for me, as a kid who has always grappled with gender fuckery and all that kind of shit, I appreciated something like that as a kid, and just seeing that shit doesn't have to be just because you have a dick doesn't mean you can't wear a dress if you want to,
right. Well, I think
pierce your ears and wear makeup and
I think Dennis was one of those key figures that really changed the perception around that stuff.
Oh, big time! Yeah,
here's this the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, how many times? Right? This guy's fucking blocking shots from everybody, rebounding from everybody, and he wears a dress. What are you going to fucking say to Dennis Rodman?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
His nails back in the day.
He was on the Pistons during the Bad Boys era.
Oh, yeah. He was one of the guys throwing Jordan to the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Before he was his teammate. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's that he was that dude. And that's a big, that was another thing where it was a nice little walk down memory lane, because it's holy shit, that motherfucker hit the earth like a comet. He just boom, here it is. Look at me, which was why the match was really odd, because he's really toned down, wearing all black clothes, and he's not even he's barely even got any makeup on or anything.
I gotta say though, I thought he played his part very well. And
he did. He did.
It was so Savage is clearly there to make sure
he was
things
the
stay
chicken
on track.
shit of the match.
He was there to coach Rodman if he needed him, and Hogan was clearly doing that as well. I thought that Rodman, he looked good in all the moves he did. He didn't do anything that he couldn't do well. He did a leapfrog, did, some arm drags. I thought his shit talk was really good. He's super tall, so he could say to Luger, I'm way taller than you, bitch. He was doing your teeny tiny thing to Lex, which, I mean, Lex is huge, but he was shorter than Dennis.
He was just cocky as hell, which I thought was, he was a little more subdued than I thought. I thought we were going to get this big flashy thing, but you're right. He totally
but that's kind of Dennis, though. That is kind of Dennis. Is his play was very explosive.
Mm-hmm.
His appearance and the way he presented himself was explosive, but in temperament, the way he carried himself was kind of shy and diminutive. He was kind of
biggest shot every time Blade says diminutive.
Well, it was used to describe me earlier in the show. So he was.
I think he might be taller than me, also, Blade.
But I doubt it. But he's an interesting dude, and he's definitely gone to crazy town. But I do respect Dennis Rodman, and he's one of the better celebrity wrestlers from this time. And this dude fucking literally ditched practice during the playoffs to fucking show up and wrestle.
Yeah.
You could tell he actually likes wrestling and that he was stoked.
Well, that's what makes the best for women, which is why I hate that WWE just seems to be pumping celebrities in as much as they can now. I'll give it to Jelly Roll. He seemed like he was really into it. I didn't watch the match, but
I think that's one of the maybe key differences nowadays is the guest wrestlers genuinely seem to be kind of marks, and they're really into what they're doing. So that's at least cool. I fucking hate Logan Paul, but like,
Yeah.
you could tell he likes wrestling, you know?
Yeah. Well, back in the 90s too, you know, a lot of times you would get the celebrities, and wrestling wasn't that huge yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of the times when they would have celebrities in there, it was because they wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
They were fans, and they loved the theatrics of it, and just wanted to be a part of it. You know?
And they would, you know, I think a lot of times when a paid celebrity was there, like a Pamela Anderson or somebody like that, there was this kind of like eye rolly thing they were doing while they were on camera. Like, oh, I'm so happy to be here. Give me the money, you know, like, and then, you know, there were guys like Lawrence Taylor who like he literally trained to have a match, and he had a good match with Bam Bam Bigelow, you know, but like that was very rare at the time. And now, like, you got Bad Bunny, you got, you know, these celebrities, you know, like Big Boom AJ, like he's an influencer, but he's like a legit wrestler. And you could tell he loves being in the ring. And so that's cool to see. At least if you're going to take their money, like give them your best, you know?
I mean, you could almost say that about wrestlers in general, because if you look at wrestlers in the 70s and 80s, those are dudes who couldn't make it in the NFL. They were bondsmen. They were criminals, et cetera, et cetera. And now you have people who they got into wrestling because they watched wrestling as kids.
Right.
You know, like guys back in the day weren't necessarily wrestling fans because it was just, well, I can't do this, so I guess I'll wrestle. I don't want a 9 to 5, you know?
100%.
Athletic.
Your Wahoo McDaniels, your Lex Lugers, your Ron Simmons. That was the norm, right?
Yeah.
Is like wrestling wasn't anybody's first choice.
All those dudes that came from the same college, you know?
Right. But like West Texas State.
West Texas, yeah.
But the thing is like, and this is where like Jim Cornette, I think, lost the plot. Is wrestlers nowadays are fucking marks who grew up loving wrestling.
Totally.
And Jim Cornette hates those guys. He hates those guys.
Because he is one of them.
Because he is one of them. That's exactly, you just nailed it. I mean,
I hate myself, goddammit.
Right. He grew up, him and Heyman.
That
and
self-loathing bastard.
Those guys grew up, you know, feeling like they couldn't do what these guys did.
Right.
And, you know, the line between Jim Cornette being a wrestling photographer in his teens and Heyman being a wrestling photographer and somebody like Kenny Omega, it's a pretty short line. It's not a very long one. So, anyway, Hogan gets pinned.
There's a lot.
No, he doesn't.
I thought he did.
No. He submits in the torture rack.
Oh, he submits in the torture rack. That's right.
And then Luger puts everyone in a fucking torture rack.
Right.
So much of this match was Hogan and Rodman holding hands and cuddling and like patty cake. Oh, come here.
Yeah.
Well, like anytime Rodman was in the ring, Hogan just kept pulling him back into the corner.
There was one point where like, I don't remember who Rodman was going. He was like going at it with maybe Luger, and Hogan reaches over and grabs his belt and pulls him back to the corner. And it was actually kind of funny. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. No, it kind of reminded me of I've been watching, I happened to come into contact with a 38 disc, Best of the Midnight Express, set.
38 discs. How long
it's like every televised match they ever had. Okay. So like, I'm not going to watch this whole thing. But I wanted to see them in like Mid-South with the original music and shit like that, you know? And so they do this a lot in you know, they're like kind of like rowdy, brutal assholes until they're chickens. And then Bobby Eaton's so funny because in the early days he's being like, yeah, come on, yeah, and then he'll go over and get a hug from Dennis Condrey, and it's so good, dude. It's so good. But Hogan and Rodman remind me of that a little bit during this.
Yeah,
but basically, Hogan submits to a torture rack, and
there's a fake sting,
there's a fake.
Oh yeah, there's a fake sting,
and they just don't. They barely even make a big deal out of it.
It's Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
it's so obviously Kevin Nash. Like, he's not wearing makeup. It's a mask.
Yeah.
And he's got longer hair than Sting.
And a beard.
I mean, like, who the fuck would possibly be fooled? But this guy walked right past you, and you didn't notice that he was 7 inches taller than Sting? Like, give me a fucking break.
Well, it's been a while. Maybe Sting grew. Maybe he had a growth spurt.
Well, right. You can go through a growth spurt in your early 30s.
Right?
Yeah, no,
I had
it was
a growth
just
spurt in my 30s.
That was so stupid, though, that having Kevin Nash be Sting, that's all-time dumbass wrestling shit.
I'm assuming that the point was to make it obvious because the announcers barely even they're like, oh hey, and then Sting came out. Well, that's weird.
Yeah, they didn't freak out. Sting, it's Sting. Right? They didn't do that. Yeah,
that should have been the biggest thing in the world. I don't know, but anyway, so it ended kind of poor.
Well, that was Bash at the Beach Boys.
Yeah, a great pay-per-view that ended with a whimper. Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was nice to revisit. So
it was.
Again, thank you that was a good choice.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for joining. Thank you, Professor Degree, for being our guest this week. Again, you can find the good professor at Professor Degree on the Azul Sky.
Blue Sky. Azul.
You're not on the others anymore, right?
No.
No.
You can. Sometimes I post stuff on Instagram. It's called Fortune Favors the Bold. I just post art, but you don't have to bother that. I'll post that on Blue Sky too. Just drawings.
Yeah. Blades at I Blade Daily. I'm @pegme_Bundy. Or you can find our little collective at sickos.club on the socials or at sickosclub.com. Ooh. This has been The Hard Way. Bye.
Also, goodbye.
Sickos Club.